Hello everyone. Today we received a Redmi Note 8 Pro with a complaint that the phone is hanging in the Fastboot, restarts and goes back into the Fastboot firmware mode and nothing can be done about it. Usually such a problem occurs when the volume button is stuck down, or moisture gets into the same button. To start, restart the device. We press the volume keys up and down, also the power button, and wait for about 10 seconds. At the same time, the phone will be forcibly restarted and we will see if it goes back into the Fastboot mode. This time we see that the phone has started to boot in normal mode. Let's wait for the phone to fully launch. The phone has started, the touch screen is working, the display shows. Externally, there are no special problems. Let's look at the volume buttons. And now we can see that the volume down button either does not work, or it works every other time. In general, it behaves incorrectly. As I said earlier, the phone starts in the Fastboot firmware mode, just because of this volume down button. We need to disassemble the device. We warm up the back cover, insert the scalpel carefully and pour alcohol. It is best to use isopropanol, but the usual medical will do. However, it will be worse to dissolve the glue. Next, we insert a plastic card and, adding glue, carefully walk around the entire perimeter of the phone and carefully peel off our back cover. Our back cover is disconnected. We carefully glue the camera glasses, since we have a fingerprint scanner hanging on this module, and it is important not to tear off its loop. Immediately we put the plug on the train and it is already possible to unfasten the train itself to remove the camera glasses to the side. Next, unscrew the screws on the motherboard to remove the top cover and get to the board itself. We put it aside in the lid and immediately unfasten the loop on the battery. Also unfasten the loops on the lower board, on the display, and carefully remove the motherboard itself. Immediately check for traces of moisture. As we can see, everything is clean inside. There are no oxides, smudges, nothing. Most likely the water didn't get in, but we need to get to the buttons themselves. It is necessary to carefully pry the contact pad, while not damaging, without cutting off the loop. The train is very fragile, delicate. It can easily be cut off or accidentally cut off if the scalpel slips. Carefully forge the contact pad, and now we begin to separate the loop itself with the buttons. Also, do not forget to add a little alcohol to soften the glue. And when the glue loosens, our loop is carefully removed from the case. Here we also see that moisture did not get in. There are no oxides or streaks, that is, the middle button, the volume down button, it itself began to glitch and be pressed, so with the help of a hair dryer, we carefully dismantle it from the loop. The button itself has melted, we don't need it, since it is already unusable. After removal, we will use the alloy several times. We tin 2 contacts under the button with alloy at times so that the new button sits down without strong heating. The buttons are delicate, they are easy to overheat. We remove the excess alloy to the rows and apply a little flux to the prepared place. And we take our button. We have a slightly different type of button, a slightly different size, color, but in principle it fits well on this seat and there will be absolutely no difference. We carefully center it, place it, and carefully solder the 2 outputs with a soldering iron. Due to the fact that we initially tinned the alloy at times, all this happens very quickly, and at low temperatures the button itself does not have time to float. We installed the button, now we put a little alcohol on the stick and clean, degrease the contact pad and the button itself so that everything is perfectly clean and there is a good contact. Now, carefully using tweezers, we need to install the train in its seat. While the buttons fall inside, you need to correct them a little and at the same time insert the train itself so that it sits in its place. After the loop is installed, we check whether the buttons are pressed by a characteristic click and the contact pad can be installed. To make it more confident in its place, add a drop of glue and already put the contact pad in its place. Also, the buttons on top of us are fixed with a special plastic cable, a bracket. We also install it from above, fix it so that the train does not pop out and all our buttons are in place, well pressed. We also have a factory thermal paste on the case, which we slightly damaged when we removed the motherboard, so we add a couple of drops of fresh thermal paste and you can install the motherboard in its place. We carefully fill all the loops so that they do not get inside under the motherboard. We also adjust the cameras so that they sit in their seats. And when the motherboard is sitting in its place, you can snap all the loops, install the antenna cable and only at the very end fasten the loop on the battery. We install the lid on top, and begin the process of reverse assembly. We tighten the screws into place. While we are collecting all this, we will launch the phone to check the operability of our button. The phone started. We check our buttons, we see that everything works clearly, the volume up and down is pressed absolutely adequately, and now we can finish assembling our phone. We install the camera glasses, snap the loop onto the fingerprint scanner. When everything is twisted and everything is installed, you can smear the back cover with glue and put it in its place. We install the back cover and clamp it with clips. We send the phone to dry. It dries for about an hour, and after drying, you can remove the clips. The lid is sitting in its place, everything is glued. It remains to install the SIM tray and the repair is finished. The phone is completely ready. Thank you all for watching. Bye to everyone.